Tell me something. Tell me a word that describes. Tell me the name of something, a place you want to visit, an imaginary city, a silly made-up word, a real or imaginary planet, your hometown, your favorite store, an animal that lives at the zoo, a four-legged animal, a kind of reptile, a kind of dinosaur, a kind of job or profession, a kind of insect, the name of someone in the room, the name of a president, a good name for a pet, the name of one of your best friends, a superhero, a famous singer, a monster, an old sock, the Grand Canyon, a rainy day, Christmas, winning the lottery, food, a flower, underwear, playing a video game, a ghost, the winter, a part of the body, you wear, you ride, you throw, a musical instrument that uses electricity, you do that's boring, you do that's fun, you do with a best friend, you do in the water, you do at a party, you do to exercise, you have to do that's gross. You only do in the wintertime. You do in gym class. Things that come in pairs. Things you have two of. Things that come in the mail. Things you wish you had a lot of. Things you would find in a forest. Things you would find in a grocery store. That lives in the water. That can fly. That has fur. A very large animal. A flying insect. You would find in a garden. The name of a famous person, a funny nickname, the name of a cartoon character, a movie star, a famous athlete, your favorite teacher, your favorite holiday, a day of the week, a made-up or imaginary holiday, the date of your birthday, your least favorite holiday, a major sports event, you do on a playground, you do in the bathroom, you do all the time, you do in the kitchen. You do on Halloween. You do at the beach. You do that's noisy. You do at the amusement park. You only do outside. The name of a kind of car. You can use to travel. You can live in. You wear on your feet. That moves very fast. That moves very slow. The outdoors. Your family. The weather. Garbage. A clown. Jumping out of an airplane. Here's what a line from your story might sound like. It's time for me to tell your story. Here we go. Press the questions button to try it all over again. Oops, it's not time for your story just yet. I've got more questions for you. To show you how it works, I'll have you answer 3 questions for me. When you play the game at home, I'll have even more questions. It's time to ask you some questions. Let's get started. Press and hold the record button and tell me your answer after the beep. Release the button as soon as you're done talking. If you want to re-record your answer, press and hold the record button again. Here's your first question. Good answer. Press the questions button again to hear your next question. Good answer. Next question. It's your last one. Make it good. It's your last one. It's your last one. Then we're done. You're halfway done. This is going to be a good story. I've got just a few more for you. You're doing great. You're halfway finished. Wow, you're good at this. Good job, storytellers. Now press the play story button. Good job, storytellers. Now press the play story button to hear me tell your story. Whoops. Press the questions button first. Whoopsie. I didn't quite hear you. Try again. Hi. I'm the story elf. I have a very important job at the North Pole. I'm in charge of all the holiday stories, and I need your help to tell them. I'll tell you what kind of words I need. You say them for me. I'll record them, and then I'll tell you a story with those words in it. Press the questions button to try it for yourself. Press the questions button to start playing now, or keep on listening to learn how. Here's how it works. I'll ask you a question like, tell me your favorite thing to eat. You might say, chocolate chip cookies. I'll record your answer to this and even more questions. Once you've answered all my questions, press the play story button and I'll tell you a story with chocolate chip cookies and all of your other answers in the story. The best part is, your voice will sound like an elf too. Pass me around for everyone to play. Sounds fun, wouldn't you say? Here's what a line from your story might sound like.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Gorilla.
Abraham Lincoln.
Press the questions button to begin. The end. Once upon a time, in a place called, there lived a young, named, this little, was very, because, had a unique, that was big, and, because of this, every other that lived in wouldn't even let enjoy any of their with them. But one by the name of saw just how little was, and on 1 year asked the little a question with your so very, won't you guide my tonight? And the rest, as they say, is, it was the night before, and an elf named was really, because in the town where was from, is a very wonderful time, was in, making a whole bunch of, with a friend, a happy by the name of, for their, to load and deliver on the eve of. The two of them always had a lot of fun together in, because they liked to, and on eve, when their work was finished, the friends loaded the into the for their who thanked them and with a ho 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 said, I'm years ago in the land of there was a quiet by the name of normally was just a regular like any other. But one day some children placed a magical on top of and suddenly became the magical caused to start to giggle happily and all around and everywhere went. People enjoyed the delightful. It was the night before and in the home of all the little were excited because they knew that was coming. As soon as the got into their laid there down on their pillows and went to jolly old would come and down the chimney with a large and leave a present for all of them. And what an extra time they would all have on. There are a lot of activities to do around, but for the most thing to do is, oh boy, does love to, because when you get together with all your grab the closest and then all through your neighborhood. Sometimes your neighbors might even invite you and you're in for a nice cup of hot, and who doesn't love yummy? It was about a week before Eve and was very worried. You see, hadn't put a stamp in the mail to yet, and lived very far away in a city called, and it would take a while for the mail to deliver a stamped. What would do? Well, I'll tell you. Quickly grabbed some and a nice sharp and sat down and began to. 30 minutes later, the nice sharp was dull, but had the best ever. It was, and very, very, when received it, was going to love it. Now all had to do was hope that the was fast enough to get the there on time. There are a lot of things to love about, and one of my favorite things is the everything about it is first you get to go to pick it out, and there are all kinds to choose from. There are ones and everything in between. Then, once you get it in the real fun begins. And everyone joins in, hanging all the shiny on the until it looks as pretty as a sparkly. And if that's not, I don't know what is. Once upon a time in a land called, there lived a tiny by the unusual name of, and this was unusual in other ways as well. For instance, didn't believe in, and everyone in believed in, even the, in fact, most folks would rather spend a day eating than say they didn't believe in, but for some reason didn't believe. Until, that is, because that was when showed up in a looked the right in the eye and said, here's a for being so, and did believe after that. You bet your sweet